Howdy y'all, just one more day in the trading year, and I'm thinking we're probably going to have an update tomorrow. Some patterns which I thought was developing for a bearish take didn't quite come to fruition today, so be careful. I got a lot of shorts on right now, so I'm thinking I'm probably going to get hit tomorrow. But at any rate, things that I was looking at this morning, the Japanese yen, it was breaking out this pattern. And on the what we're doing, we're testing this 20 SMA, 21 SMA, and we're trying to break up above this, which I do think the first of the year we're going to do that. We're going to start seeing the dollar coming in a little bit and the Japanese yen catching a little bit of a bid. If you come in on your smaller time frames, you could tell this morning from the moment close, around 7 o'clock last night, the Japanese yen just took off. And this had a lot to do with the Nikkei was catching up with the sell-off we had yesterday. And when it sold off, the yen was catching a bid. But there, towards the open, it sold off a little bit, but we still stayed right up here in this upper distribution. And right now, we're breaking out of this morning's highs on this yen. So that's a little bit more bearish going into tomorrow. So a few minutes ago that wasn't showing that, so just keep that in mind. Now if you look on your dollar chart here, we closed right on the lows today, and after hours it's even trending a little bit lower than that. So I do want to point that out. The dollar looks like it's wanting to come down here and test the 21 SMA. Let me go different time. And if you look right here, the dollar right now is right at the day lows, and it looks like it's trying to break down to lower range here. So if that happens, that's going to possibly help the commodities out. So let me show you crude real quick. Last night, crude inventories came out, and there was a huge build in the national reserves. So we got a sell-off in crude, but man, it didn't give hardly anything up today. I mean, we're in a breakout. We're trying to break out right here to a higher price level. And if that dollar does sell off, then I can see higher prices in the crude. Now, if that happens, let me show you some other charts. Carnival is one of those companies that's one of its biggest input costs are the cost of fuel. And this is one that has a double top in right now. And I got my 21 SMA. That's my kind of bullish bearish line, and today we closed below that with a rolling over of the SMA. So I'm thinking this is a very bearish chart. You could probably even sell credit spreads 54, 53.50 credit spread, call credit spreads, and be pretty secure. If crude is going higher, then this should sell off. As you all know, I'm short the airlines right now, even though my JetBlue got hit. Somebody came in and was rolling a bunch of their contracts out to March, bullish contracts. So I took a little hit on that today. But at any rate, we're on this 21 SMA, and if crude were to catch a bid here, I can see the first of the year the airlines are going to have to take a breather to because of the higher input cost. Quickly, I want to talk about bonds this morning. Today we closed above the 21 SMA on the bonds. Okay, and it was quite a bullish tape on this crossover here, and I do think bonds are going to get a relief rally, at least at the 122 area, the first of the year. So just keep that in mind. If bonds are catching a bid, equities tend to sell off. Another stock catching a lot of interest today was gold and silver. Okay, or not stock, I mean equity or commodity. It clearly crossed above the 21 SMA today, and there's no real resistance at this price level, so I could see it coming up and retesting the 1209 at this point. So just keep this on your radar. I was not in gold. People told me to get in gold, people that I really respect, but every single time I get into it, it doesn't move till the day after my option contracts expire. So I give up on it. So, and if you go on your shorter time frames, you can see just how amazing day that gold had today. It was just utterly amazing. And then real quickly, I'm going to show you the silver chart. It had an awesome day today too. Gold was doing much better, but still, it's nothing to be upset about, guys. The SOX was one of the stocks yesterday that I was looking to short for continuation, which we got this morning, but it bounced way earlier than I expected. I was wanting to hold this all the way down to the 21 SMA. So all my profits on NVIDIA today's profits went up in smoke, and it's looking like a lot of them are going to be gone by tomorrow morning right now too. And I was watching the SMH semiconductor index also to time it, and it's still, I was looking at the 7170 area. I was going to unload my NVIDIA there, take my profits, and it missed it. So hopefully we'll get some continuation. But for this to be a bearish market, if you're seeing breakdowns like we saw in the semiconductors yesterday, you want to see continuation in those breakdowns to justify your bearish thesis. Okay, and the semis did not justify the bearish thesis today. Now, as far as a bearish pattern goes, the metals and mining index, which a lot of it deals with steel and copper. Well, there's some copper in there too, but this index here, it's been bear flagging below the 21 SMA for days now. And I did initiate a short in FCX today, and thinking this thing is going to break down soon. But so far we don't have a confirmation of a trend break. But I do think the first of the year you're going to see the steel stocks come back in. Another stock that was on my watch from yesterday, which is for an engulfing continuation pattern, and that was the oil and oil services index for the XLE, the energy services. And yeah, it stayed on near the lows today and actually rallied a little bit towards the end of the day. But if crude were to catch a bid here, I mean, this thing here is probably going to come right back up. But yeah, keep this one on watch, because we do have a cross the 21 SMA, and crude could just come completely out of favor, so we'll see what happens. Another stock, we had a bearish engulfing on the bank index yesterday, and we did get a continuation move to the downside on the bank index, which is that was a good sign. So keep this in mind, and that had a lot to do with the bonds catching the bid, I think. So if you're looking for a reversion lower in the markets, the first place I would look would be the banks. So just keep an eye on this. But yeah, if things go the way they're going right now, we're probably going to close at or below the 21 SMA tomorrow. A couple other trends I did notice today: weakness in the FANG stocks. Okay, Facebook, we got this this trend line here has held for quite some time now, and it has traded inside of here, but very little. And we're wedging out really tight here on this Facebook, and so keep this in mind. First of the year, I think Facebook is going to break down into this lower distribution. Keep an eye on Amazon. It sold off today, and we have a reversal pattern on the candles inside the consolidation. So it is consolidation, so don't read too much into it, but this is a head and shoulders pattern. So it tends to be a little bit more bearish. Let me zoom in here. Now, if you zoom in on these the daily chart here on Amazon, we did get a full candle below this trend line, a short-term trend line, and but we are still holding the 21 SMA. So keep this on watch here for any continuation in the FANG stocks lower. Another one, Google. You see how it's about 8-9 days of consolidation that we've had here. We came down today, we broke out of that consolidation, and we were trading at one point below the 21 SMA. So this is another one that we could get a rocket move back up, of course, but this is on my watch for possible continuation lower, because this is awfully weak today in the face of very light volume. Netflix has given us a bearish continuation pattern. So this is a bearish engulfing yesterday, And today, since we closed lower, this is a continuation pattern, so keep this one on your watch. Tesla is trying to break this trend line, uptrend line. So keep this one on watch. We have basically this is basically an island top. So if this thing gaps down tomorrow, we have officially an island top on Tesla. So keep that one on radar. Apple held up pretty good today, but keep in mind a lot of Apple products are in Russia right now, and all this crap going on with the Obama and the Russian president and stuff. It wouldn't take much for the Russians just to say, just keep your iPhones. So that's one thing you need to worry about with Apple. And also, reviews came out for the new MacBook that's coming out, and it turns out it only has a 4-hour battery life on the new MacBook, and they just did not give it a good review. So just keep this one on your radar here. I've been shorting at 118, and I think for long you can short at 118. You're actually going to get a test of the 114 in relatively short order. At any rate, that's all I have to say. Thanks a lot.